Hi everyone, my name is Rehatbir and you're about to witness the showcase of the coffee app I've been developing for Nights and Weekends Season 5 over the last week or so, give or take a couple of days. So the main idea of the app is that it's a filter coffee recipe explorer that has guided timers and augmented reality tutorials. And the reason I came up with this idea is that me personally, when I was entering the filter coffee community, I find it quite difficult to sort of memorize all the recipes and sort of keep track of how much water I'm pouring as well as when I'm pouring it. It's a field that requires a lot of precision with what you do. And because of that, I found it difficult to find the recipe I liked to produce a coffee that I enjoyed. So I want to make an app that streamlines this process of finding your recipe and possibly even exploring more recipes for beginners as well as probably even experienced coffee nerds. So I have a simulator, iPhone simulator, as well as Xcode here. So let me just enlarge this. Yeah, anyway, so the app is currently called Filterama. I know the name is a little cringe or probably doesn't evoke coffee vibes, but so if you have a better name, please let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you think. So when you launch the app, you see there's a couple of buttons here. There's recipes, AR tutorials, shop, statistics. The number of buttons and what the buttons do is subject to change. These are just some ideas I have of some features that I might add other than recipes and tutorials. So right now these just direct you to a coming soon page, but if you click the recipes, it'll take you to a recipe browser where you can search recipes and sort of filter them. So there are three recipes here that have been hard coded. There isn't a database where I'm storing these yet. I have just manually typed out all the values by hand. So if I click developer's choice V60, this is the recipe I usually drink. It shows you some details about this recipe, such as the fact it uses a V60 filter, and it also uses medium ground coffee. And if you scroll down, you're going to notice there's ingredients as well as materials you require for this, like a V60, obviously, as well as the filter paper and a gooseneck kettle for optimal pouring. And you can also adjust how many people you want to serve with this counter, and it'll also automatically calculate the amount of coffee and water you need, as well as potentially some other ingredients you might have. So I'll just dial it back down to one person. And there is a review steps button, but it hasn't been implemented yet. The goal for this page to sort of show you an overview of what this recipe is, all the steps you have to follow before you actually start brewing so that you don't go in blind. And if you click start brewing, it's gonna start a guided timer of sorts where it starts a stopwatch. It like a lot of people usually use their iPhone clock app, so the end goal is for this to look quite similar to that. But right now, it's just a some text that shows you how much time has elapsed. You're going to notice that it tells you to brew with 50 grams of water for 45 seconds. That's basically the first stage in the recipe. And the blue circle is progressing much faster than the brown one because that shows you how much time has passed in the current stage, while the brown circle shows you the how much time has passed in the entire brew, how much time the brew should ideally take. So after that stage, you see it goes on to the pour stage, the next pour stage, where you have to pour 50 grams in 10 seconds. And after that, I think it's, yeah, you have to draw down for 10 seconds. Basically, just wait for it to sort of go downwards and then for 10 seconds. And then after this, you again start pouring more water. And then it goes on until the recipe finally finishes. And ideally, you should also finish around the same time, but if not, you can probably adjust your coffee grind size. It doesn't tell you that yet once you finish the brew, but that is also on the to-do list where if you take longer or you take less time than the sort of stopwatch, it'll give you some tips on how you can adjust your recipe or technique to make sure that you get the correct amount of extraction and also to attain the proper flavor that the recipe is aiming for. This is the final drawdown phase of 65 seconds. So that's basically all that this demo version of the app has till now. I think it very nicely captures the essence of the initial idea I had when I began developing this app. Obviously, I can polish the UI a lot more, and it still has a long way to go, but I'm quite happy with the direction that this project is going towards. And if you, the viewer, has any suggestions or feedback about this, I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially about the name, since it's actually quite corny, if you ask me. But I couldn't find a better name. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next update.